I am stretched on your grave and will lie there forever. We will rank you.
Hello and welcome to We Will Rank You, the world's latest and greatest podcast where we rank songs on like really good albums from like terrible to terribly good. As always, via technology, I'm joined by a guy more Jewish than Irish. That's you, Dan. Say something.
Oh, right, because of the Irish thing. Got it. Yes. Hello.
Yeah.
It's Dan.
A guy more Scottish than Irish.
Hi, I'm Jim.
And a guy whose name sounds suspiciously like Sinead O'Connor.
But that's me. Just
That
Sam
is you.
O. That guy.
Yeah, I know we're not supposed to say last names, but man, maybe I'm giving too much away there. And also, I would just like to say that, have we ever seen Sam and Sinead in the same room? Those eyes, those beautiful, big doughboy eyes.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm your host, and my half-birthday is on St. Patrick's Day. The last time I picked which album to rank, I chose Love's 1967 album, Forever Changes, a record I was pretty sure none of these guys had ever heard. So as penance, I swore that my next choice would be an album that we all owned. But how would I know for sure that we all owned it?
How?
Well, in 1994, when Sam and I were roommates in the Bay Area, one day I went into his room and our other roommate Pat's room and made a list of the albums that the three of us all owned, then scotch taped it to the bathroom wall because, you know, that's what I did for fun when I was younger. And
It's
still
true.
do now,
It's
apparently.
true.
You're so grown up now.
So, yeah, totally.
Yes.
So in that spirit, I asked these guys to mark up a list of the 500 greatest albums of all time, according to New Musical Express back in 2013, plus the 14 albums from our bathroom wall in 1994, because of course I kept it. And I had a slight tinge of worry that I was going to say this and I was going to get just all this pushback and but no, the three faces that I'm looking at right now on Zoom all lit up and were like so excited. They started looking at the list before I could even send them the Google Doc to start messing with. And that's why we do this podcast, because we're all super nerds for stuff like this.
Yep.
Nerds.
How was that? I haven't even asked. Like marking up the 500, was that
Super fun.
good, bad? Yeah.
It was fun. I think there was one that I marked that I'm not sure if I had, but I said no because I didn't want to do it.
Oof. Okay.
It was the laws, but I'm pretty
Oh my God!
What is wrong with you?
Oh my God!
God.
but I'm pretty sure I don't have it. So
This
never mind.
podcast was going well until that.
Yeah, no.
That's
kidding.
definitely on my list of
Sam.
things to do.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Mine too. If I had a list, that is. So anyway, at the end of the episode, we bet on how many of those 510 or so we would all have. And Sam and Dan were our tied winners. They guessed 20 and 24 respectively, but the answer was 22. I'll post all those on the socials soon. I knew that whatever albums we all owned, I was going to choose the one that was least like the ones we've already done and were least like each other. And that wasn't too hard to find out because 18 of the 22 were by all-white male alt-rock bands from the 80s and 90s, plus
Weird.
2 Beatles albums and the Beach Boys. So Kim Deal and James Iha were literally the only ones on 21 of 22 albums that weren't white dudes.
Wow.
So since we've already pretty much covered that, that leaves Sinead O'Connor's I Do Not Want What I Have Not Got. Let's ask these guys here what their relationship is with Miss Sinead Marie Bernadette O'Connor. Who wants to go first?
I do. 1990, right? So I was
Yes.
freshman. This is the freshman dorm room album for me. And I have had a relationship with the single and the video, of course, you saw everywhere, and I loved it. And then I got the album. But when you assigned this and I went through, I was like, oh my God, I don't remember this album. And then I was like, wait a minute, I think I do. And then I listened 8 times because I always do my homework. And now I'm ready to talk about it. But no other albums. I just had, I heard the single Mandinka. That was about it before that.
Right.
I'll go. First of all, it's I do not want what I haven't got, not have not got. And I made the same mistake, which is why I had to.
I kind of set it out on purpose. But okay.
Oh,
Adam doesn't make mistakes.
poor Sinead. Wow. Saw the Mandinka.
No contractions allowed for this entire episode. Not one.
Heard Mandinka, saw the video, and just fell in love instantly. It was instant. And I don't think, in my world, I don't think anybody else looked like Sinead O'Connor that I'd seen up until then. And it was just so different. She had so much fire, such frigging spirit. It just, you could tell it even in that video. You can clearly hear it in that song. And I rushed out and bought Lion and the Cobra. I was totally hooked. And so by the time this came, I'm like, I'm in no matter what. And then of course it was big. Adam will remember this probably. I had album flats lining the top row, basically perimeter of my bedroom. And they lined the Smiths was up there, Pet Shop Boys. I can still remember the whole thing.
Right.
But this album was up there. And this album, as you know, that front cover is her completely dramatically lit. Those eyes are just piercing, those blue eyes. And she's got this look like she knows things that we can only hope to learn. Like just this unbelievable presence. And I always think of, if you guys remember the scene in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, when Mike Damone just looks up on his wall and there's Elvis Costello looking back at him over his shades, the front cover of Trust. Yep. And that was me with Sinead. Like that was, of all the album covers, that was the one I would just like lock eyes with. It was like my patron saint overseeing me. And so when I think of this album and when I pulled it back up, and like you, Jim, I hadn't listened in decades to this whole album. It just, that came flooding back.
That's great.
A quick question, and I was thinking that I vaguely remembered seeing that album flat up on your wall, but that would have been after you left high school.
I was trying to do that math too. So either I got it as an advance. I can't even remember where I got all those album flats. So either it was like an advance and we had it like in 89, or it's just, I was at college in LA. I was back in San Diego. Maybe I was down often enough. I don't know. I can't put that together either, but it was definitely up there.
And now that you said that, I don't know where I got it. I probably got it for you because I worked at the warehouse around that time. So
great
it's possible.
point. Thank you.
That's not why I asked, but go ahead, Sam. Sam, go ahead.
Oh, my recollection of this album is, of course, the single. I had a very similar experience to Dan with Sinead O'Connor. Saw the Mandinka video probably on 120 minutes. She's so captivating. She's incredibly beautiful. And I was a teenage boy, so, but the talent was there. I mean, like Lion and the Cobra, that album was so, like the power of Mandinka, but then so many other songs. She just, she's yelling. She's got it like really quiet. The music is kind of back and forth. And I was a huge Cocteau Twins fan, still am. And the, like the music on there in places kind of reminded me of that, very emotional, very ethereal type of music that they made. And so when this record came out, Nothing Compares to You obviously was a massive song. I was working at KCR College Radio at San Diego State, and
I was there once.
What? No way.
I think Dan and Jim were there once.
Like
I
visiting.
visited the studio for a show. Yeah.
Yep.
But so this was huge on college radio. It was huge on 91X. And I guess we'll get into it more, but this, I didn't listen to the whole record, but I, jumped around, played songs off of it, when I was on radio and just kind of knew it from that. But again, hadn't really listened to it in decades and wasn't quite sure what I was getting into listening to it again, and absolutely loved it. Really loved this record.
That's giving away way too much, but okay. The first time that I think I heard Sinead was her guesting on a song that was actually done by The Edge from U2 for a movie called Captive. Yes. And absolutely loved it.
What was that song called? My God, I totally forgot.
Heroin with an E.
Yes. Oh my God, that's an incredible song. I'm listening to that after this. Is it? It's on Spotify?
It's on YouTube at the least. So I listened to it last night. Hadn't heard it in a long time. And it was
Exciting.
really cool. I actually had the album at one point. I finally saw it on CD.
I think I taped it off you.
That's very possible. It's all instrumental stuff. I never saw the movie that it came from, but that song was just her voice was already incredible. And I think that it came out before Lion and the Cobra. So that was my sort of introduction. 91X was playing Mandinka and maybe Put Your Hands on Me. And then when the second album came out, Dan loved it, and Dan loved it, and Dan mentioned to me that he loved it, and he also mentioned to me that he loved it, and I finally gave in and got it. So I definitely have Dan to thank for that one. I was Sinead for Halloween in 1992.
Of course you were.
Me and my then girlfriend.
Wait, let me guess. Let me guess. You included a photo of the Pope in your costume. I knew
she
it.
was the Pope. I was
even
Sinead.
better. Even better.
And we had a stack of pictures of each other that we would like tear up. And unfortunately, I had no time to get a Pope costume together for her. So she very gamely I can't remember. We had like a sheet. I have pictures, so I will be posting them, of course. But she looked a lot more like the Eggmen from Magical Mystery Tour than the Pope. There was like literally nothing that was Popish about it. But you got it because I was obviously Sinead. I think I had a bald wig and the whole bit.
It goes without saying, by the way, that your girlfriend was game, because all your girlfriends have been game because they have to be your girlfriends.
I don't know about that. And she was a shy one, so there you go. None of you guys mentioned seeing her live. Maybe you were waiting on that. I did see her sing one whole song, as far as I remember, at WOMAD in 1992. I remember hearing that she had been coming out on tour with Peter Gabriel just to sing Blood of Eden, which she had done on the album. So there she was on tour, hanging out just to do one song, which I thought was super cool. So I went to listen to it on a recent drive, and thanks to a car detailer, the USB connection in my car, it hasn't been working. So I can use my aux cable, but I can't charge my phone at the same time, and my phone is running low, and I was like, I really want to be able to listen to it. I could listen on Spotify, but my phone's running out. I'll do what we would have done in the early 90s. I'll just go listen to it on CD, because my car has a CD player, unlike some modern cars. So I go to get it, and it's not there. And I think, oh shit, that means at some point in the last 20 or 30 years, it didn't make the cut. I purged it, which means, I couldn't remember how I really felt about this album. And I was like, I don't remember ever loving it, but I know I owned it. And I guess that is the telling sign. I didn't love it enough to even keep it.
So when you went to listen to the record, you wanted what you didn't.
Oh, God, I didn't even think of it that way. So it was an interesting way to start listening to this album, thinking, I guess I didn't like it that much. But a day later, I thought, wait a second. There she is. What?
Where was it?
I'm holding up the CD for you in podcast and you can't see. She was in the orphan pile. Somewhere in the last 30 years, I lost this disc. It's one of those, I don't know if you guys get this, where in 20 years, you open up a CD and, there's this CD that I've been looking for a million years. So thank God, Sinead. If anyone wants to burn me a copy so this case isn't feeling so lonely, please do. So with all that said, let me tell you a quick bit about the album. This was her second album. It was recorded in Dublin and was co-produced by O'Connor, Chris Burkett, Sean Devitt, and Massive Attack's Nellee Hooper. I guess I never knew who played on this record because I was surprised by just about everyone that plays on it. You've got Adam and the Ants guitarist Marco Pirroni, Wobble, Smith's bassist Andy Rourke, and arrangements by World Party's Karl Wallinger, who produced some of her very first demos.
Nice.
It was released 3 days after my 18 and a half birthday in 1990, which means it was 1 day before Jim turned 19. So let's get into it, guys. I will go first. My number 10. And I think that this is a clear number 10.
I
Dude,
love
there's
I love
only
how we
one
said it
option.
earlier.
Usually
Yeah,
I
we
don't
want
agree with you guys. This time I predict a unanimous number 10.
Okay.
Unless
All right.
unless Sam screws it up.
My number 10 is You Cause Us Much Sorrow.
Oh, you screwed it up.
Screwed
Okay,
it
I'm
up.
just watching for reactions. Okay. It's a very nice song. It's okay. But everything else on this album is a lot better than okay. I have almost nothing to say about it other than I'm going to guess that all four of us, when it got to that one part, all went la 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 la. And that's all I have to say about this.
Okay. And it drove me nuts when we got to that. And I was like, where have I heard that before? Oh my God, oh my God. And then 3 hours later, I was like, Mystery Science Theater theme song. Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Okay.
That's the connection I did not expect.
Dude.
No, me
and I
neither.
was so satisfied when I was like, yes, I got it. I know where I've heard it.
All right, fine. Tell me what number 10 is for real then, Jim.
Okay, number 10 should, it's a numerical. It is Three Babies. That is number 10. And
that's a clear last?
let me tell you why. Enya made a career out of this song. Okay. The
That's
squeak,
deep.
the squeak of the strings. The guitar. She doesn't have it everywhere, but on this song, it's just shrink, ring. And I'm oh God, stop it. But this is the vocals are what I think of when I think of Sinead. She really shows her stuff vocally on this, but it's an Enya song, guys, and it's the worst one on the album.
So I'm with Jim in that Sinead has an incredible voice. So for me, the last song on the record, the clear, like number 10, is Jump in the River.
Wow.
Because the music's flat, but the singing's also flat. But when you can belt it out like Sinead, that's a choice. She's making a choice to just have it be that monotone, like kind of through the whole thing. She gets, she puts a little inflection on stuff, but she never really does that Sinead belt. And so to me, I would be curious, like, what are you trying to say with that performance? With not giving that Sinead, because, if you said Jump in a River, it would probably be a good idea. It's an emotional song. She just doesn't do that. So it's a clear choice, and I'm that she's making artistically there. I'm really curious as to why, but for me, it's just kind of flat. Number 10.
Interesting. My number 10 is not the same as any of you.
I know.
So we're off to a good start. Look, guys,
Yes.
I'm less cultured than you. I am who I am.
I knew it.
My 10 is the title
Number
track.
10. Yep.
I do not want what I haven't got.
Yeah.
I love, oh, there's my looks again. I love
Like
the
or look.
bookmarks to these albums. Not the bookmarks, the book ends to these albums. The first song and the last song were boys in our late teens. We're listening to rock and roll, big, loud, fast. And she gets all of us to buy this album. And then she starts and ends with these songs that are so totally slowed down, which I love. And I'm a purist. I would never hit stop on the album early. You gotta complete the thing. But there's kind of that. So first of all, we'll talk plenty about what an amazing singer she is. When someone's a great singer, an expression you might say is, "I'd even listen to them sing the phone book."
Sing the phone book.
Right.
This gets pretty darn close to that. It's 5 minutes and 45 seconds of one melody over and over again. I know there's sort of that calming mantra, but look, I'm also the guy that can't meditate. I try, and it says get the things out of your mind. I'm like, come on, let's go. So this just doesn't work for me. It's not her, it's me. It's amazing, but it is not my favorite.
Dan, the first, listen through, I was on one of my runs, right? And to jog to this song, I was like, oh my God, what are we doing here?
And then you hit this higher zen maybe halfway through.
Well, no, it took me a while. It really took Enya to do, to not have that last. Anyway.
Fair enough. That makes me feel better. Thanks.
it's perfect for me to follow up on with my number 9 because my number 9 is your number 10. I do not want what I haven't got. Contraction. Yeah, it does go on too long, and I love that because she's such an amazing singer, she has the guts to end that way. And we've talked a lot about whether the last song of an album works or not where it is, and this is a perfect way to end an album like this. It's this beautiful kind of almost lullaby quality. You know, she's such a good singer. She has the confidence to do it without any instrumentation, and it's great. But yeah, I get the idea after a minute. I get the idea after 2 minutes, 3 minutes. But it's definitely an incredible showcase for her ability to hold notes and hold notes without any vocal gymnastics and vibrato. There's a great interview from when she was on Lollapalooza in 1995, and I can still remember it, and sure enough, it was on YouTube, with Perry Farrell wasted backstage at the first night or first day of the tour, telling her basically that. And it's just fantastic.
Oh, that's great.
But again, it just takes so much guts to do it. And I remember she was on the very first episode of Unplugged, and she did this song. You know, she could have had a band member, she could have done anything, but this was one of the she only did 2 songs, if I remember right. And it was it was her in the church, very first episode ever of Unplugged.
Wow.
And she held a guitar, and I'll tell you the other song that she did later, but
wow,
she chose to do this as her second song, and everyone
She's
just
so
shut up and
friggin'
listen.
gutsy.
dude, I know, and that's why you have to give it a little credit over Enya, right? Is that freaking the balls, right?
Let's give her a little more credit over Enya, please, than just that one story.
Well, I'm
Can
talking
we?
about this song, Dan. That's why you have to
gotcha,
tick it up
gotcha.
one,
Got
to 9, where it sits for me at number 9. Impressive talent. I'm thinking, it was my last place until I read the lyrics today, just without listening, and I was like, damn, that's a poem. That's really good writing, and it's so short. It's so short compared to this. What you guys said
Right,
was
because
too
she
long.
drags
of a
it
song.
out. So because she drags each line out. That's interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And that's my theme of the album, by the way. You know, Stone Roses was, the theme was like they make you wait for it, and then the payoff and all that stuff. The theme of this album is definitely let me drag out these words over this melody, this line. I was kept going, like, I wonder if she wrote this. Because sometimes her songs sound like they were originally like old Irish tunes passed down through the generations, and she's put a twist on it or something.
Totally.
And I really did not research before I listened to this album. And it's second to last because yes, I'm impressed, but I don't think I'm gonna play this song again. So, number 9.
So this song, I Do Not Want What I Haven't Got, is also my number 9. It's quite an artistic statement, like everyone said. It's definitely poetry. What kind of stuck out for me a little bit was when she would draw out a line, because the end of some lines she doesn't, and the end of some she does. And I didn't fully take the time to kind of like go through and listen. If I was, doing a real critique of the song specifically, I probably would have spent more time on it. But that, like, noticing which words she chose to draw out for longer than others, I thought was really interesting. It's again, solo voice, a cappella, a little bit of reverb, almost 6 minutes of singing the poem. But this record, and this song kind of encapsulates the record, and one of the things that I thought was really interesting was going to be the 4 of us, 4 dudes, talking about this record. That's it's very much from a woman's point of view. It feels like a motherhood album, protective, but also standing alone. It's got that defiant, but it's not belligerent, but confident, right? So, I feel like, this is the one time where I feel like we're missing a female voice on this podcast, because
Totally.
a woman would have so much more to bring about this, especially a mother, because I think Sinead was at least once, if not twice, over a mother by the time, just once Jim's shown me. But and it's a breakup record. She's going through a divorce with her first husband, who played drums on the record.
Really?
So yeah. It's such an interesting album. I mean, the relationships that she talks about are so interesting and so in depth and so much emotion in them. And that's, again, this song is that restraint. I mean, because she could really belt it out on a lot of this, and she's singing very confidently. She's got the talent. I mean, clearly. I mean, it's almost insulting to bring up her talent because it's so obvious. But and this one, I didn't feel like it was too long necessarily, or that I got it by the first minute. But there's just so much more on the record that elevated above it. It was kind of a quick number 9 for me, just about as quick as number 10 was Jump in the River, but so that's where it fell for me.
The only thing more insulting than complimenting her talent is complimenting her talent when you sing like Perry Farrell. It's like, well, yeah, compared to you, of course I sing well.
Easy enough.
All right. So thanks for that setup, Sam, because now you're making me the total asshole. So fine. Yeah, we're 4 dudes. And so I already put I Do Not Want What I Haven't Got at number 10. And I'll just go ahead and put the Motherhood song at number 9. So let's just get it over with. Number 9, 3 Babies. Agree with you, Jim. I can't say it any more humorously than you did. Except I will point out the strings. Like, the strings on this album are frigging gorgeous. In fact, the word that came to mind for me was sumptuous, which then I had to look up to make sure I was using it right. And I am. It's splendid and luxurious. That's like the definition. But I mean, so maybe some of you just learned a new vocab word. But I mean, the strings are just, they're so lush. They're so gorgeous. And then against her voice, like, it's interesting how many people you said played on this album, because the instrumentation is good enough, but to everybody's point, that's just the background for her to kind of layer her voice on top of. So, pretty, but to me, this song also is just, it sort of doesn't go anywhere. It's one thing, it's a mood, it's pretty, but it doesn't sort of grab the emotion out of me that so many of these other songs do.
One of the really interesting things for me, you're talking about everybody that played on this record. On this song, it's only her. She played the percussion, she played the keyboards, she played the acoustic guitar, she did the string arrangement. It was conducted by somebody else, but this song's all, like so many of these songs that are spare like this were her, and she did the instrumentation. I mean, she's a complete artist on this, and she's bringing in people that have the talent to kind of keep up with her. It feels like, Andy Rourke and Wobble and the guitarist that Adam mentioned, whose name I can't remember right now.
Marco.
Thank you.
I mean, I think this album is on a very short list of like most personal albums ever.
Oh yeah.
Where literally just about every lyric is her world, her space. They're so direct. So many of the lyrics make you sort of uncomfortable. Like, she's just putting out there, this is exactly how I feel. So that is so fitting that she also had a touch on all those instrumental pieces, because there's no mistaking this was one person's vision,
Yeah. Good call.
Excellent. My number 8 is going to be, I guess I'm going to be the first sort of I'm guessing. My number 8 is Nothing Compares to You.
No way. You're joking. You're joking.
Provocateur.
And I could not decide where this one was going to go. It's definitely this episode's, I've heard it a million times, so how can I not let that affect me? But having heard it a million times, I can never remember super loving it. That doesn't mean that I didn't watch that video in complete awe. One shot of her just looking directly into a camera and then like shedding a single tear. It's just unreal. But we're not judging the video. We're judging the song. And without that visual, you talk about a samey song. the arrangement that they did of this song, they stripped everything away, and in some cases that's great. It's exactly what this song needed. It made it so much better because Prince's 1984 demo isn't. It's just like it has all the stuff that you just don't need, all these hits, and I don't know. It's just I thought I was going to be completely wowed hearing Prince's version. In some ways, if you listen to the rest of the album and say, she needs a Prince song. That's not what you're thinking. You know? It almost makes no sense at all. You know, she loved hip hop culture, but it just doesn't seem like it should make any sense. And it's not that it doesn't really fit. But you know, there's one little part where she does a little bit of like soul singing and one little line, and then she doesn't do it at all because for me it never really worked because she's just so great at those like simple, beautiful, like resonating notes that are just like she doesn't need to do any gymnasticking at all. Just so you know, someone's got to say it. The song was originally recorded by a Prince side project band called The Family, and it was presented to her somehow. I didn't really get the story how, but they streamlined it in such a beautiful way. I love this song, you know, which says a lot about this album. We've had some recent criticisms about the thing we do here called The Line, which it has confused quite a few people. What that means is at this point we like the songs. Below this, either they're okay or we don't like them. So for me, my line is here, right at number 8.
Under number 8, so this is in your like list?
This is in my like list.
Okay.
This is where it starts. The other ones are okay. I guess, you know, I could say that I like it, but I don't really think of either of those. But this is where we get really good. A couple of episodes ago when we talked about Prince, I mentioned seeing him and how the opening act was really great, and I couldn't remember who it was, and I remembered after it was Mary J. Blige, and she was amazing. And funny enough, covered a song by an Irish band called U2 called One that night. A song, if I never hear it again, was probably fine, but she absolutely blew the roof off the joint, and then got up and did Nothing Compares to You with Prince. Now, the way she did it totally fit what you would think someone would do with a Prince song. She sang the hell out of it, and it was great. Completely different. But what Sinead does with it is so understated and beautiful, but it's not like blowing my head off the way Mary did it. So anyway, overall, that's where I have it. Number 8 as a result of all that.
I hate that I have to wait to talk about that song for so many spots. Are you kidding me? I want to rebut everything. I'm not going to remember what crap came out of your mouth for me to say, oh my God, you're so freaking wrong.
Jim, I'm like in the presidential debates. I'm over here like scribbling notes for when I get my time back. I'm like,
Yes.
first I would like to rebut.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And now I got to go talk about the third worst song in the album instead of what.
Which is
All
not
right.
Nothing Compares to You. And also, while we're at it, how dare you, sir? Don't pull down U2's One with it at the same time. Like, what are you, just bombing the 90s altogether?
Oh, my God.
Boring.
Oh, my God. All right. So my number 8 is You Cause As Much Sorrow. Yada, yada, yada. It starts low and slow. And right after Jump in the River, and it just kind of everything just slows down. And this one, it drags a little, but then, at 1:25, minute 25 in, it's hey, here's the chorus, and la 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 la, and it's a little catchy, and it's really, and I'm like, all right, this is a good song. So it's number 8 though.
I also have it at number 8. Like Adam, my line is underneath number 8. So everything I'm talking about from now on are songs that I really like and would listen to a lot. For me, there's that my vocal tick. For me, You Cause As Much Sorrow. It reminds me of Tracy Chapman's first record. So
Love it.
I went through and listened a bunch of times, and in ranking the songs and everything. I really do like this song because I really love Tracy Chapman's first record.
Mm-hmm.
So like that acoustic guitar, it's got the little piano touches in there, very much like Adam just did almost like a fake clap. That's why.
Well, the other two did. I think that if you guys want to support him by clapping and snapping, you should go for it.
Snaps.
Don't air snap and air clap.
But yeah, like little piano touches, very much like the songs on her record. It almost feels out of place though, and that's why it probably fell as low as this. Like, I mean, I would love to hear Tracy Chapman do a cover of this song. I think it would sound great. She would bring a lot to it vocally. Not that Sinead doesn't, but I really love it.
We're like, she's a genius. She can do anything. I'd really like to hear other people sing her songs. Mary J. Blige.
Well, she did a Prince.
Oh my God!
I
Oh
would
my
love
God.
to hear Perry Farrell do Three Babies.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
All right,
Is that me?
So that's you, Dan.
it's
That's
you.
That's Sinead.
My number 8, I'm gonna go snipe out the other bookend. My number 8 is Feel So Different. My line is also between 8 and 9. So 9 and 10, I could get by without. 8, I definitely really, really like. So again, it's slow. It's got the strings, those blockbuster movie strings again, right? It's like she's singing her personal mantra over Eleanor Rigby. Like that's what comes to mind when I'm hearing this. We've talked about first songs also being broader statements. Adam mentioned last songs. We've also talked about first songs. Compared to Lion and the Cobra, nothing sounds like Feel So Different. And so I love when you put on this album and, first you hear her spoken word and then it goes into this. It is instantly clear that you're listening to sort of the maturation of Sinead O'Connor, which I think is so awesome. Once it starts to pick up too, it's just gorgeous how this thing builds over time. This is one that takes its time, but it does slowly develop. And I think it really just kind of gets you into, Jim, what you were saying, which is like, I'm going to take my time. I'm doing what I want to do. And I just think it's a really gorgeous statement. It's just lower than the others, which kind of hit me a little bit harder.
All right. My number 7 is Three Babies.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I wrote show tune / opera. It's somewhere in between those two as far as the instrumentation. It's definitely it seems like it could be done on a Broadway stage as far as the music goes. And I don't mean that as a slight in any way. What she does is beautiful and it sounds very classic in that way. I'm glad that Sam said something about, we're 4 dudes judging this completely personal, feminine album. And on this one, I felt it. And on a lot of others, I felt it. And yeah, I did a little reading last night, which I hadn't really done ever, at least not in 30 years, about her. And she said something that I thought was so fitting as a result. She said, "It's not for men to like. It's a woman's statement about this album." So, that kind of says it all. It's like some music is, made for a certain population, right. And I almost feel kind of silly commenting on it in some ways. Yeah. But I love it. I completely love it. And sometimes, getting an insight to someone who is not me is part of the fascination with it, and that's why we're drawn to it. Awesome. But funny enough, guess who does a great cover of it? Tori Amos. Shocker,
Perfect.
Girl power for sure.
I like Tori Amos a lot. Hey, Sam, that's why when your vocal tick of for me is so great, man. It just takes all debate out. Hey, I said for me first before I said my hot take. You can't be, this is my, this is how I feel. For me, I allow you to have another opinion. It's very, very British. Very British and cool.
By the way,
Dan,
I'll just say one other thing. Like, caveat established. We're 4 white dudes talking about this. I don't think we have to keep apologizing. Like, it's totally a fair point, but we are still here to share sort of our opinions of this album and how it affected us, and we clearly all love it. So,
yeah,
noted. And I think it's a totally fair point to bring up. But let's soldier on.
Okay,
Soldier.
I'll
I'm
edit
gonna
this
use
out.
male words like soldier. Let's soldier on.
Dan, you took off your headphones, and I had said this quote that she had said, "It's not for men to like; it's a woman's
Oh,
statement."
that's so her.
So my number 7, is it?
Yes.
All right. My number 7 is Feel So Different. You're absolutely right, Dan, about it. I can't believe you didn't say it's just like Prince, Dearly Beloved. She starts out with the spoken word, just like, and oh my God, I thought that was going to be, I thought we were all four going to rush to be, who's the first that's going to say that, right?
Another Prince connection.
It's just all right for me. And then during the chorus at the end, especially the "I feel so different," the strings are great. Is that staccato? I don't even know.
Yes,
but it's awesome. But then the other strings are going dun dun dun, which is totally. I'll do this. I'll do that.
Oh boy!
I mean, I can't.
Earlier he stole it from her. This is earlier.
Oh yeah, because exactly.
Michael Penn's "I'll Do This."
Well, I wasn't thinking that they stole from each other. I'm just saying it's around the same time too of my life, so it's great.
Well, wait, if you're gonna do all the string parts, I thought you were gonna add the at the end, dun 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 dun, like when it starts to do the falling.
Oh yeah. Great strings. Shelly Ann Orphan strings, like really, really, really good. Anyway. So that's my number 7.
My number 7. So I think this episode is, at least it's starting out to be an episode that Dan doesn't like, where we're all really agreeing on stuff. Mm-hmm. Because my number 7 is Feel So Different. It's a bold opening statement. I am not like I was before, how she says. But the question is, like, that first line, then you're left wondering, like, in what way? Like, how are you not like you were before? I mean, the song goes through it, because I mean, she's talking about these relationships that she's having and that are dissolving, and how she's changed, how other people have changed, and it's so great. I actually got more of a feel. I think Dan was saying that it was very different from Lion and the Cobra. I actually felt like it was a bridge more from Lion and the Cobra to what she ends up doing on this record. I thought it sounded a little similar to some of the songs on Lion and the Cobra. I don't have song titles in my head right now because I didn't listen to that. I didn't want to compare them that closely, but this song for me also has some of the biggest singing on the record. Kind of like similar to along with Three Babies. I think those are some of the songs that she ends up belting it out more, not Mandinka style, but just like really bringing the power of her voice to the lyrics. And again, the string arrangement's great. I love the call and response between the strings, how she'll sing a line and then the strings will be kind of matching it right behind her. Great song, great album opener.
That's fair, Sam. You're right that I kind of like when shit just blows up and goes sideways when we're ranking, but I'll admit I kind of like this. Like, other than Adam throwing the one atom bomb. Thank you.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, we're very harmonious so far, so I'm going to keep it going. My 7 is You Cause As Much Sorrow.
Nice.
The soothing whisper vocal, as was noted, is really pretty. I feel like that's the one time she does that. I think maybe I didn't go back and double check, but I think maybe this is the one time piano shows up on the record, which is kind of nice. Like, that's it's interesting to think that an album this slow and meditative, but there's no other piano. And you guys mostly said some of the rest, but the bass does pick up halfway through. The bass is very notable here. So now knowing maybe this is a song where that's Andy Rourke on bass, that's really cool because that bass is really kind of does its own thing and sort of walks up and down, and it really becomes sort of a key piece in the second half when it picks up around the la 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 la's. So definitely some really nice touches to it that I quite like. But still number 7.
All right. Thank you, Dan, who is speaking to us tonight between Sinead O'Connor's eyes. It's got to be noted that Dan goes the extra mile and puts up a background almost every episode. And we've been staring at him perfectly placed between her lovely eyeballs.
Well, just to clarify, we are doing a Zoom call at the same time we're recording this. I don't literally have Sinead standing behind me in a studio.
I mean,
Or
prove
do
it.
I? Yeah, it's fair. I'll be a minute. I'll be.
All right. My number 6 is another one that I think I'm going to get some flack for here. And I had this so much higher, and it ended up falling, and that's The Last Day of Our Acquaintance. And again, love this song. But it has my favorite line maybe on the whole album, which is that I'll meet you later in someone's office. And I did some looking around last night, mainly because I realized after all these years that, yeah, this album is so personal, and you just assume that she went through a breakup, and that's what this is about.
Right.
And shockingly, she was dating her drummer, producer, John Reynolds, who was in Transvision Vamp and also played with Jaw Wobble, and actually went on to produce a whole bunch of interesting people, Shane McGowan, Belinda Carlisle, the Chieftains. They were dating, but they split up, and maybe that's when she wrote some of this stuff, but they got back together, married, and had a kid. So, I read this Rolling Stone article at the height of all this, and she was saying it's this huge misconception that she's, in this was getting out of a horrible relationship or something like that. But here she is happily married with a child, and here they're this happy family. What she did get a lot of was some business managers that seemed to come and go, and maybe that's what some of these are about. And I did and didn't want to know once I got into it and didn't see it right away, and then also saw that she was with this guy. I'm like, oh, well, also, what's that like to be if it is about you and you're still together and you're drumming behind her? She sings this scathing sort of, well, parts of it are scathing. Like, that's got to be the weirdest thing ever.
And Adam, just really quick on that. Not only that, but on that song, the absolute most pivotal moment is when those drums kick in. Like, the drums are like the
Totally.
main character of that song.
Yeah.
So I so badly want
Right.
it to be about him now.
Right. And funny, because that moment is the moment that I remember most about her first appearance on Saturday Night Live. So she's singing quietly while a whole band is standing there, and they might have even kept in on her. I couldn't find it. I was looking for it on YouTube because I remembered, like, when it comes in, and Marco from Adam and the Ants is playing guitar with her. He was her touring guitarist. And I remember, who is this big old tough looking guy doing like a pick scrape when it comes in, like just down the neck, and like she is wailing by the end, like just like totally off key and screaming at the end of this song. And I'm like, I can still remember it 30 years later. I haven't seen it since, but it was nowhere to be found.
Wow.
Like some Saturday Night Live clips are. And that was also interesting because she was so famous for tearing up a picture of the Pope. But I kind of forgot that she actually did her first appearance on this album.
Right.
She sang 3 Babies, and I cannot find it anywhere. So I don't know if she did it with an orchestra. Because I know that she did an orchestra appearance on I Am Not Your Girl at some point. But she did 3 Babies, and then she came back and did Last Day of Our Acquaintance. So that was in October of 1990. And she also, and I completely forgot about this, she was supposed to be on with Andrew Dice Clay hosting, and said, I don't want to be on with him.
I remember that.
That's right. I remember that too.
Totally forgot.
Wow.
So that was like kind of the beginning of like all of her many, many controversies. So 2 years later, she came back in October, almost 2 years to the day, and ripped up a picture of the Pope.
Wow. Amazing.
Protesting sexual abuse of kids by priests. Like, it should be noted, like that was her beef with the Pope, because she was
Like-
raised Catholic.
Like way, way before it became as big an
yeah.
issue
Oh,
as
yeah.
it did in the media. So like,
Yeah.
time has judged that one in her favor, I would argue.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Very
You-
much.
If you were sitting at home watching it, you wouldn't have got that, but she said plenty about it after the fact.
I put number 6. I put Jump in the River because it's hard to do just a straight pop tune when you're a protest singer, and I just think it's hard to go back and forth. How do you do a sweet love song when you're Bob Dylan? And I mean, Lay Lady Lay is amazing, but my point is, you take my point.
Is it?
It's a good tune. I like Jump in the River. there's over a minute of music at the end, and it's just, I don't know if it's necessary. And that's all I have to say about number 6. I do have it stuck in my head though, so
That's usually a good sign of a,
Yeah.
of a catchy song.
Yeah.
My number 6, Last Day of Our Acquaintance. Love when the other guitar in the band comes in at 3:21. This song does not have a drawn out ending, but ends rather abruptly. Like it goes and like it kicks in, and you're like, yeah, let's go. And they're like, yep, I will never, what does she say? Hold on. I know your answer already. Like repeats it 3 times, out. Whereas to Jim's point, and I wrote this about another song, but this album is all about the repetitive outros. Emperor's New Clothes, 3 Babies, You Cause As Much Sorrow, but this is not one of them. It ends like I said, like 3 minutes of her, the band comes in, they hit the chorus, they hit the outro, done. And it's a really good song. I agree with Adam about the line about I will meet you later in somebody's office. It's like we were discussing a little bit before the pod, before we started recording about that, the 6-line stories and like that, just that line, just really like this Last Day of Our Acquaintance, I'll meet you later in somebody's office, and you're like, oh, fuck, that's what this is about. Okay.
Yeah.
Signing papers and being done. It's brutal.
Yep.
She does brutal well. All right, I think this is going to be my first controversial pick. Even I'm mad at myself for where I'm putting it. But
I'm preemptively mad at you now, Dan.
I was going to say, we're all really
Sam,
pissed.
you left one song off your list of what I call never-ending endings. She has a lot of never-ending endings. And mine is I Am Stretched on Your Grave.
That's the one.
Wow.
Now, look, it's because of Sinead that I learned about James Brown's Funky Drummer. Like,
Yeah.
this is the
big
song where I was like, wait, that's a thing? And then I think it was probably with you, Adam. We went and obsessively tried to find all the songs that use that sample. Name another song in the history of recorded music that sounds like I Am Stretched on Your Grave. Like, it's totally unique. It's totally her. It so encapsulates what makes her a fascinating figure. One of the reasons I'm happy to have it lowest is I get to talk about when the Irish fiddle comes in, which is easily one of the highlights of the record. Those drums going and that fiddle just going. I don't care how long it goes. It's like you're in it. You're in that hook and you're just loving it. So it's phenomenal. But how long is this song? This is another song that I just feel 5:33. This is another song that I feel like as I listened, like Jim, doing my homework again and again and again, it's one thing. And this one is a traditional song that she really cleverly arranged.
Okay,
But
it is. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, this one is, and so it is just like a lot of those folk songs. It's many stanzas of exactly the same thing, and so for that reason, it just fell for me. It didn't. I love the one thing that it does, but it's one thing.
Okay.
It's the one thing, or are we going to get back into In Excess on another?
Which was originally written by Prince. A lot of people don't know that.
Awesome.
I can see it.
All right. Up to number 5, which for me is Jump in the River. The first of 2 chuggers on this album.
I put the exact same word. I put the exact same word.
Is a chugger a good thing or a bad thing?
Oh yeah,
it's a great thing.
Just like a head nodder. I could hear Metallica covering this just because it's got those like downstrokes. I knew that there was a song on this album that was in some movie. I couldn't find it for a while, and I finally found it. Yeah, it was this one. It was in Married to the Mob before this album came out.
Really?
And she included it.
That makes no
I think there were a
sense.
couple,
That's ridiculous.
I know. It's stupid. Stupid fact, Adam. Why'd you bring it up? Keep going.
So this one, especially halfway through in the break, really reminds me of Jesus Mary Chain. That middle instrumental
somebody
break
would
where
say
it goes
it.
where it goes to a different. It goes
And
like that bridge, instrumental bridge, and then it just lets that one note. Hold out, squeal for feedback, and back to It was like it's so Mary Jane,
and she goes back to the chorus really quickly after that, and it's just a beautiful moment. I love it.
You're making me so proud that I have it ranked highest. I'm just going to say, because of what Adam said. Anyways, keep going.
Wait, did you already give away what you have ranked highest?
No, but I said I have that song
Ooh,
ranked higher
okay.
than any of you.
Oh, higher. I thought you said highest.
I mean, it
Okay.
could be
So,
highest. You don't know.
I don't know. Dan has impressed upon us that he would like us to include more made-up facts. So here's my made-up fact for this album. When my drummer first told me about this band, I actually thought he was kidding, but this part is real. There's a late 90s hardcore band called Judd. And what they did is they decided to strip away everything extraneous from music. That mainly being instruments. So there are all these short little songs, and the only thing is two guys saying the word Judd, and it's kind of like Beavis and Butthead. I swear this is real. Judd. It is kind of amazing in its hilarity, but that is absolutely true. What may or may not be true is that they did the guitars on this song.
Okay.
That album
All
sounds
right.
terrible. Don't ever pick that album.
That's
for
actually
us
what
to
I'm
discuss.
in 4 episodes. That's what we're doing.
Okay.
I'm gonna
5
be
episodes.
deathly ill in 4 episodes.
Yeah. Are we on number 5 or number 4, Adam? Was
Number 5.
Okay, number 5. The Emperor's New Clothes. I think I ranked this wrong. I think that Jump in the River, I've talked myself into being better than Emperor's New Clothes. Guys, I want you to put yourself in this song, the very opening, the drumsticks clicking, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, and then I want you to picture the opening of Aching to Be by the Replacements. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, okay. It is.
Okay.
I was like, oh my god, I know this song. Wait a minute. And then we immediately go into the shuffle. The I totally pictured the cheerleaders, Will Ferrell and Sherry O'Terry doing the Spartans.
Jeez.
And this is the perfect cheer. What this song needs is the perfect cheer. And then.
You've now
Great.
name checked. You've now name checked Mystery Science Theater and the cheerleader skit from SNL.
I have a
I'm
lot of
sure that's
time.
what Sinead was going for.
Yeah, I have a lot of time on my hands.
Exactly. That's why she went on SNL twice.
I don't know. Sinead's catalog or whatever, but I was like, I wonder if this is like a leftover track from her last album, because it just, I don't know. It's anyway, it's good. The problem I have with this album is her trying to fit the lyrics over the chord structure and the melody. So everyone can see, and there's a big pause, what's going on. And it just, the pausing just continues. And this is the song that has the most freaking annoying 1 minute and 32 seconds of just straightforward music at the end. And I'm screaming like at the producer, somebody forgot to fade out. Fade out. Like they literally went for a bathroom break, came back in and went, oh. And then the only thing I was really listening, I'm like, is this really a minute and a half of the same thing over and over? There's a drum fill like twice right at the end.
Hell yeah, there is.
Just a couple of times, and it's not impressive. It's not. There's nothing special about it. You know what it is, Dan? It is the okay, guys, we're wrapping it up. It's the signal to the rest of the band that this. It's the same as my daughter, who's a cheerleader in high school right now, and she's calling out the cheers, and she goes, last time, and then they do it one more time, and then they end. That's it. So
I'll tell you what, I fall for it every time, Jim. And even better than saying last time once is saying last time twice. That is
Jesus.
fall
It's
for
not
it every
even-
time.
It's literally that routine, though, Dan. It's just last time. I mean, there's nothing special about that drum fill. It's not an amazing musical moment. It's just the only thing different in a minute and a half. I can't believe I have it that high. I should have dropped it more. Anyway.
Yeah,
Instant regret.
Very James Brown, like calling it back. Like one more. Come on.
I
one
literally just wrote down, can I hit it and quit?
Can I hit it and
How many
quit?
and how many times does he say it? Oh, he says it twice, Jim. So if you're going to doubt the wisdom of James Brown, then you can just...
That's right.
My number 5, also The Emperor's New Clothes.
Wow.
Catchy pop tune, 3 verses, 3 different choruses. The words are change a little bit in each of them, which I always find interesting, kind of an interesting choice, because normally we mostly think of choruses as being just repetitive, like repeating the statement. It changes. And a minute and a half outro, and that's another interesting choice. I'm curious why there are so many songs on this record that have those like repetitive, long outros. I mean, a minute and a half is a long time.
It's
for a
the
song.
antithesis of Fool's Gold. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, music. We're gonna stick this music, and it's gonna be the most boring part of the song instead of the most interesting.
It's like where the solo's supposed to be on Hollow Notes. You Make My Dreams Come True from the last album. Listen to this, bum bum, bum bum.
And it's just another minute and a half. With a couple drum fills, you're like, oh, okay, we're still going. We're still going. Okay, yeah, So like live, do they stretch this out for like 5 minutes? Is that what they do, or do they make it shorter live, like surprising the audience, like, bam, right, just tight out right after that? I don't know. My number 5.
I'm here
You have a question?
in defense of the outro. My number 5 is also The Emperor's New Clothes.
Wow.
We've talked a lot about what a phenomenal singer she is. She is also a phenomenal lyricist, which we've talked about a bit, but it deserves to be said again. What I love about The Emperor's New Clothes is she basically wrote this incredibly open your heart confessional letter to a former lover, I assume. I'm sure Adam's going to give us the backstory. And she
It was Adam, the former lover? Oh my God.
That's separate. It's why it's his
Yes,
number
please.
1. She lays out this letter over the verses. I disagree with you, Jim. Like, I love the way it does not fit into the melody. She's getting through this whole letter, and somehow it magically feels like it fits. Like, it is so unusual to have words that just unfold like this. And I love your point too, Sam. I didn't even realize that it's a different chorus every time. I think that's
neither. That's one thing
incredibly
neither.
hard to do. I think it's unbelievably done. Also love when she harmonizes with herself on a lot of songs, but here it
Yes.
really shows off. And again, the words are just so direct. They're so heartbreaking. After listening to all of those words packed into all of that, she just told this whole story. I love a minute and a half of release. Just this, the band picks up. I mean, I know they're playing the same thing, but they're all cranking. Those drums come in. I feel like it's release, and I feel the same thing as on "I Am Stretched on Your Grave," where like words, and then just like let's bring it home and let's take our time bringing it home. I love it.
You're pretending like this is freaking the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. I mean, you have so much space in the lyric part. You don't need any release. I mean, this is.
But it's the end of the
I
world.
get Dan's point.
It's the end of the world fits a rhythm every time. Like, great wall-to-wall words, I agree with you, but like, it's the same rhythm all the way through. Hers are like, it's like spoken poetry over it. Like, it's different how she changes it. She really is like reading a letter, I feel like. Anyways, to me,
Very,
that's like a
very
different
slowly.
effect, and it kind of makes it dense. But set against that music that's chugging, Adam's word exactly,
Yeah.
totally dig it.
Well, and that's why I said it was an interesting choice, because again, like, this is an artistic choice. Like, you don't have a minute and a half
completely.
of just the same thing over and over and over without it being a choice. And you may be right, Dan. I hadn't thought of it that way, and that's what I love about doing these talks is I get my eyes kind of open to other ears, kind of open to other options. And I think I agree with Dan.
Or the studio said, friggin' deliver me a 50-minute record or else.
That's what
So
I'm
they're like,
thinking.
guys.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking, guys.
Of course you are.
All right, my number 4 is the album opener, Feel So Different. And like I said, when I thought that I had got rid of this album, I thought, oh, I guess maybe I just didn't like it that much. And as soon as I put this in and it started up, okay, maybe after her little spoken poem thing, which I do not remember from my bar mitzvah. Dan, do you remember from yours? Because that one just didn't resonate like at all. You're giving
What do you mean, bar
it's
mitzvah?
God grant
that's
me
my
the wisdom.
that's my bad. This is not. I don't get that quote at all because I'm Jewish, but apparently.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, of course I know that.
Yeah.
This is like, you live in America. You know the basic. You know the Christian stuff.
All the Christianity I learned is from the first Lenny Kravitz album. So
What is it?
it's like-
That's the Lord's Prayer, right?
No.
Grant Made the
No,
Serenity?
no.
No.
See?
But
I
what is
know
it?
that much.
It's just
I
some
know
kooky
that much.
thing, I thought.
There's a name for it. Okay. Anyways, just strike that from the record, Adam.
Oh,
You
no,
know
it's, it's the Serenity Prayer.
Oh, that's what it is. That's what it is. The Serenity Prayer. Yeah.
That's
Big fan. Big fan.
Made popular by the work of Alcoholics Anonymous during the 20th century. Okay.
Right.
Oh.
Yes.
Big fan of AA too.
knew
Yeah,
that.
sure.
I knew that.
Anyway, it's basically opening with a classical number, and she sings over it, and it's incredible. It's all strings, no brass, no nothing. It's just this huge string section for a whole song, and the way it is arranged, you guys have already said plenty about it. It is so great the way it builds, so many cool little parts. I love it, love it, love it. The only thing I don't like about this song is that it fades out. You know,
Yeah.
it
And
just
fast. Like, it's over.
yeah, when it breaks it down to that dun, 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 I'm like, here's where you should end it, right there. Like, do something with it and end it and out. And it's like, okay, oh wait, now we're fading, and just never liked that part. But God, the rest of it is such a huge intro. You know, we've had a bunch of albums where the first song is really epic, and this is incredible by all those other first opening tracks that we've talked about standards. It is way up there.
True.
all right. My number 4 is This Is the Last Day of Our Acquaintance. It is so good. I'd forgotten about this song. I remember knowing it,
Wow.
30 years ago.
That's
or whatever.
fun to rediscover that song.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why. I was just picturing myself at some Reading festival or something. I think that's why she added the oh in the choruses. You know what I
sing
mean?
along.
Because I could just see like a oh god, what's a good example? Arcade Fire, Wake Up. You know, just where the whole crowd
jeez.
you know, and just
Right.
I just as she,
amazing.
the drums kick in and we're going. Which really at 3:25, there's a minute and a half left of that part, but that's the part I think about when I think about this song. And it's in my head. And the best line that you guys didn't mention, you kept talking about how great the words
Oh,
are.
you're going to steal it from me.
Well, maybe not. 2 years ago, the seed was planted, and since then, you have taken me for granted. I love that
good one.
because she had a 2-year-old kid, when she wrote
Yeah.
the song. So, so it's definitely. I mean, I don't. It has to be about the baby daddy going away,
Yeah.
and then
Oh, yeah.
breaking up. It has to be. Anyway, what a freaking. I mean, that's a song that sticks with you. It's great.
Even though it's the one you forgot about.
Yeah, correct. After 30 years.
Well, that's nitpicking, isn't it?
I am glad that that's at my number 4. I'm very proud of that.
Yeah.
When you mentioned It's the End of the World, it reminded me, guess who covered this song?
REM.
Michael Stipe.
Really?
Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that. Interesting.
So is that like the band breaking up, REM breaking up? We'll meet in an office, sign the documents. be
Ooh,
done.
document. The document singular.
Oh.
There we go.
All right, over to Sam.
So my number 4 is the 4th single off the record, and blew me away because I remember Nothing Compares to You. Obviously, I remembered Emperor's New Clothes because I think I kind of remember the video. I thought I Am Stretched on Your Grave might have been a single, but no. So the 4th single, my number 4 is 3 Babies. I could not believe when I read that this was a single. It does not sound like a single. It's slow. It's but she does have that power in her vocals. It's amazing that they decided to release that as a single. I don't know how well it did. Probably not well at all. But it doesn't. Not because of the song, I don't think. I just think the time and what we consider a single. Like I'm not turning on 91X expecting to hear 3 Babies, right?
Right.
But it's great. I feel like that her vocals on this song stretch out more and get close to the tone on From the Lion and the Cobra, and this moved way up as a result of that. I had this really low. I had it probably at number 8, and the more I kept listening to it, the more I was like, this is a really fucking good song, and it belongs higher. And it moved up because again, when I first looked at the album, I was like, what, a single? This song? And then the more I listened, I'm like, not a single, but damn, it's a good song.
My number 4 is...
Wake up, Dan.
I know.
Sorry.
He does that. That's his vocal vocal tick is to
pause.
wait really. Yeah.
Wait, me?
You said
No,
you
Dan.
said
Pause.
you said 3 babies, and I caught some
You
sleep.
said-
I caught some Z's.
Awesome.
So let's go opposite. My number 4 is Jump in the River. Totally fair criticism, Sam, when you say this is like the most straightforward song on an album where she clearly shows all the different things she can do. I think in some ways that's what I love about it. This feels like a 4-piece rock and roll band, that high octane chugging fuzzy guitar. When that comes in, I just love it. And it stands out because it's been after all of these. You had Emperor's New Clothes, but other than that, it's so many down, sparse orchestral numbers. And now you just have this. And I love that chorus line too. You know, like we grow up being told, if all your friends jumped off a cliff, would you? And you know, and then her chorus here is, if you said jump in a river, I probably would I would because it would probably be a good idea. You know, like after she's
I
been.
love that you're saying that a little bit like an old Jewish
Yeah,
man.
it's probably a good idea. He seems nice. But you know, after the rest of this album, after she's been fighting, like digging in her heels, then on this one, she seems like she's like the pliant, like, you know, I do fall for it when someone gives me bad advice. Like, I feel like that's what she's saying. I don't know if that's true or not. And she also has the great line on here, Jim. I swore you were going to point it out. It's all been a gorgeous mistake. Like, what a great line. Like, she's taking it on the chin with this one. She knows she epically effed up. But I just love her take on it. So I think it's a really interesting song. And it's kind of a breath of fresh air on an album that goes in so many different directions. I often have my, like, stuck in my head during a shower song. It was this. Every time I got in, just dun, 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 dun. Love it.
Awesome. So we're going into the top 3, and there's only one song that hasn't been named yet. I love it.
I know what it is.
Adam.
Oh, is it me?
Yep.
That's the one. My number 3 is Black Boys on Mopeds. And that was the other song that she did on Unplugged. And for some reason, I think of this as the most tender, quiet song on the album. Like, even more than I Do Not Want. Like, even though there's no other instruments on it, she is just barely singing it. And it's so sad and sweet that she's basically looking at the world and going, or her home country anyway, and saying, this is so fucked up, I'm leaving. And where does she go? LA.
Really?
It's like, yeah, she was.
No police problems there.
Not her
no
home
police
country, by the way.
problems.
She's singing about England. She's from Ireland.
She is, but
good
she's
point.
talking about leaving. But like,
Right.
was she living in Dublin at the time? I'm not going to even pretend I know her chronology at this point. But I think of her doing it just like a plain black shirt, holding an acoustic guitar, and just like everyone drop dead quiet in this room listening to her sing this song. So pretty. It is, you know, obviously the biggest anti-authority song. She was, you know, very outspoken politically. Kind of shocked that we haven't heard it from Sam yet, because if you're talking about British aristocracy or government, it's always last. And so this is a huge change for Sam. Obviously, the best moment
That's amazing.
In the song is she references the 3 babies from the other song, and the first word that they hear is "please." It's just like the way she sings "please." It's just
Sucks
your
the
heart
air
is
out
just
of the
like
room. It's
breaking.
amazing.
Yeah, amazing.
It really does.
Amazing. All right, my number 3. I would, for the record, again, I'd like to continue talking about that song. "I Am Stretched on Your Grave" is awesome. That's my number 3. It's my bronze medal. I was worried a little bit about after the first track. Opposite of Adam, I wasn't like, oh my God, I remember this album is so great. I was like, oh, do I like this album? And then the drum beat kicks in, and I'm like, oh, this is great. And Army with Harmony, OPP. You know that OPP by
Yeah.
whatever that.
Yeah,
is.
you know
I'm
me.
down.
I'm
Yeah,
down.
yeah. Are you down with it? Okay. So that Harmony with Harmony at the very beginning, that's what I heard with the drum beat.
Right.
And now we're grooving. And this is the one that I found myself singing the most after repeated listens. I always have a song in my head. I'm built that way where there's, I'm just walking around and something's going on, and this was in my head a lot. It's the same melody line over and over. I get it, but I'm totally okay with that. And I know that I don't like things that are just the
Nice.
same over and over.
I
Except
love
for
hearing
this.
that from you, Jim. I
It
love
could
it. I'll
go-
take it. I will take it.
It could go forever. All I need is that bass, or that drum, and then the bass. When the bass comes in, it's just so good. And then I cannot believe you guys haven't said it yet, but the fiddle comes in at the end, and I'm like, oh my God, we are in danger of a Stonehenge that's being crushed by a midget. And it's totally the Spinal Tap,
Yes,
Stonehenge.
yes.
It's that
Sure.
part. Oh my God.
Your references for this album are absolutely killing me. Actually, now that you mentioned the fiddle, where I thought you were going to go is, now that I realized that Adam mentioned Karl Wallinger, it's got some serious, Dance of the Hoppy Lads on that first album. Very
go.
similar to the fiddle in that. But
Yeah.
Stonehenge too.
That's not what I thought you were going to say, because the guy who plays it was in the Waterboys. I thought that's where you were going
sure.
with that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
he also played on a little song called Sunday Bloody Sunday. I don't know if you guys have heard of it.
No way.
great
I'm
fiddle.
familiar.
Yep.
I'm familiar. Yeah.
Irish.
So that's it, Jim.
That's it.
All right.
Is that enough?
So that's it. That's all you got.
Adam,
you got?
Jim, you
Well,
don't
let
have
me-
a
let me-
minute and a half of stuff at the end just talking?
Let-
You're done?
Then let me tell you about my number 3, a little song you might know as "I Am Stretched on Your Grave." Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, love that
Yay.
one.
Great use of the funky drummer beat. When I first listened, I thought it was the Amen break, but then I had to go back and do my research, and clearly it's the funky drummer. There's a difference. Like the Amen uses the ride cymbal, I think, and this one's using the snare rim. But anyway, so it introduces a little bass here, some orchestra hits there, which I absolutely love how it just pops in. And then the Celtic fiddle outro is so great. It's a great blending of the new and the old. The song is a 17th century Irish poem translated to English,
Nice.
and I love that blending. And that's, Sinead was a big hip hop fan, probably still is, but I loved how it kind of pulled those two things together, and the way that she sings it. I don't know if that's the way that the song is done, but it very much reminded me of when you were talking just now, Jim. It reminded me of monks, chants, the chants of Gregorian monks, or even probably going back to Buddhist monks, how they chant things to remember them, because that's how you pass this down, is through those chantings and that rhythm of it. And when you were saying I didn't mind it, I was like, well, yeah, because it gets in that rhythm, and that's part of the song.
Yeah.
And you've got the rhythm of the funky drummer, you've got the rhythm of the words and the chanting, and then you bring in the Celtic fiddle at the end, and it's just, yeah. I mean, I'm almost getting goosebumps talking about it. So I'll
So good.
I'll stop and I'll pass it off to Dan now.
Yeah, my final 3 all fought it out for number 1. At some point, I considered each of these at number 1. But my number 3, which you all have too low, is Last Day of Our Acquaintance. I want you to
Fair.
consider for 1 minute
Yeah.
just that title. She's not saying, oh, we're no longer lovers, or our friendship is broken. You shared a bed with this person, and now she's just good day, sir. I will see you again. Never. It's,
You were married and had a kid,
which I didn't even realize that. That makes
and
it even.
now
And he's drumming
Right.
in your band. It's absolutely brutal. It's just the way she commands this song. You guys noted, I'll meet you later in somebody's office, but you guys missed the best line in the song, maybe on the album. The best line of the song, which gets back to Sam's point about an entire story in one sentence, is "You used to hold my hand when the plane took off."
Oh, it's so
Like,
fucking good.
Every time the plane took off, he would reach over and grab her hand. And then one time the plane took off and she's like, huh. Right? Like, that's the whole story right there. I just love it.
God.
This song also, I'm going to go with one of Jim's crazy connections. This is her in the air tonight. Because once you
Nice.
hear it once and she gets to, I know your answer already. And the drums, boo, choo. Every time after that you listen to the song, the beginning you're like, it's good. When do we get to the part? Like you're in anticipation, and she builds
That's
it, and
excellent.
it's just so
Yeah.
great. And I also just imagined like a young Alanis Morissette at home, lying on the floor with her headphones on, and the first time she hears, I know your answer, with that snarl.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I just imagine her brain opening up like she took a mind-expanding drug, and she's like, I know what I'm going to do with my life. It's just like that moment. It's just so clear. Like 1,000 angry late 90s singers were born out of that moment, I feel like. It's just so epic.
Oh my
So
god.
this song is great with Alanis on drugs.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes, exactly.
Exactly. I thought you said Alanis on drums, but
Yeah, me too.
I think that her husband, just to piss her off, used to play the "In the Air Tonight" fill at that part just to piss her off, and that's why they finally divorced.
There you go. That's
Be a
it.
good gag.
Must be.
So before Adam goes to number 2, I just like to point out that 3 of us have the same 1-2 combo. We don't know what order, but Adam has neither of those songs in his top 2.
Womp,
Go ahead, Adam.
womp.
So wrong.
Statistician.
So right.
The best is I can't remember what Adam's got. Like, oh no, I don't know.
Go ahead.
Well, my number 2 is "The Emperor's New Clothes," which was my surprise sleeper hit for this album. It is the second chugger of 2, and it's not quite as Metallica, but it definitely like has that really cool chugging, moving pace. And again, I guess this has happened a few times. I'm driving down to San Diego, doing my research, listening to it, and some song is rocking me a little more than I recall, and this was it. And I was just super digging it, and not for any huge reason. The only things I wrote down really were the chorus harmonies, which Dan I think mentioned, and "Endless Ending" is what I wrote. And you guys talked about it, and for me it's one of those I guess we've had a few of these where the one I think of is "I Know It's Over" by the Smiths, where it's repetitive. Guess what? I could hear it for another 3 minutes, a minute and a half. I don't care. I seriously don't care. It is such a cool,
Totally.
and it's so simple what's going on there. And it's like what the drum guy is doing is not amazing, but he's varying it a couple times. It's great.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm so hypnotized by that ending. I just totally dig it.
And by the way, like, who among us has not been jamming with our friends? And you totally do that. You get into a groove and you just play that thing over and over, and the drummer starts to, fill in. Like, it's satisfying.
Yeah.
It is. It is when you're playing, but not necessarily when you're listening, And so there's strength in editing for sure, but I think they did the exact right thing. They realized this is so good. Let's just like leave it on for a minute and a half, and I fucking love it.
Nice.
I'm going to my number 2, and I swear to God, I'm still conflicted. The
Right?
next
Yeah.
2.
Thank you, Jim.
I'm considering
100%.
I'm considering
100%.
flipping them, and I don't know which way it's going to go. And so I'm going to make a call. Oh God, I can't believe this is number 2.
Can I help guide you?
We'll probably
Can I
have
help guide you?
coverage. The good news is you don't have to bear the burden yourself this time. Like, there's 3 of us left.
We're with
with
you,
you.
Jim.
Go
We
ahead,
are
Adam.
with you.
You're going to guide
Well,
me.
just remember who wrote one of these songs, and he likes to use the number 2 in his song titles. That's
Oh
there,
my
you do
God.
what you're gonna do.
That's an Adam moment right there.
Yes.
That's great. All right. So my number 2 is "Nothing Compares to You."
Perfect.
Okay. The opening keyboard hum, when just that reminds me of the opening of "Always the Sun" by what's the band name? The Hooters
Stranglers.
or the
Stranglers.
Stranglers. Thank you.
Good call.
Anyway, it's the hardest one yet for all of these things these podcasts we've done. Don't think of the video. Don't think of the video. It's really, really, really hard.
Yes.
It's an unbelievable song. It is.
Yeah.
I mean, this song is Mount Rushmore-ish. I can eat my dinner I mean, the drums kicking in right there. That's such a good moment on the album. It's a good moment in life. The way that she says, she sings "Nothing Compares to You" on the first time through, and she stays low. She doesn't go nothing, she stays low the first time. I love that. It's got the award. I'm going to make it my own category, Dan. The award for the most
You guys are doing great. I love this.
most confusing and best line. So most confusing line and the best line and the best moment all in one. The award goes to all the flowers that you planted, Mama, in the backyard. It is the best part of the song, maybe the whole album. What the hell? Can we all agree she's singing to her ex-lover? Right? She is.
No. Well, first of all,
okay.
Oh, I see what you're
I love
saying.
it. It's one of those that she didn't change the gender because it was Prince wrote it.
Okay,
right?
so let me continue. Let me continue. This is my point. So Prince writes it, right? And so anyway, it is creepy to say all the flowers that you planted, Papa. That would be creepy. It's like what girl calls her boyfriend Papa, right?
Daddy.
But Prince can say Mama, and it's totally fine and cool, right? So that's what I thought was going on. And then I went to the doctor, and he said, "Girl, you better try to have fun," right?
Yeah.
So I figured that was changed from boy to girl. It's an amazing tour de force. I can't believe you would want anybody else to sing this song. It's perfect exactly like it is. And I can't believe that I just switched my number one and number two on the fly right now.
Look at that.
Nice.
You know what?
Nice.
So we didn't blow it all up this time with our changes, but the fact that you're still forced to make a 1-2 switch is at the number one spot. That's like, it's one thing to switch. Like I was going back and forth with my 4 and 5, which is Jump in the River and Emperor's New Clothes, like you said. But to switch 1 and 2, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Calling an audible.
Audible.
So
All right, what's Sam got? Let's see.
Sinead actually did call an audible. She did switch the genders because Prince's version is I could put my arms around every girl I see.
Right.
And,
but what does he say on all the flowers that you planted?
Flowers, Mama? No, he says Mama.
Yeah.
So like she keeps that, which is
Right.
again, it's a choice. Like, I mean, this isn't the first time she sang the song.
She said that a lot of the emotion that she put into singing that, and this, I'm getting emotional just even thinking it. I forgot to say it in mine. Her mom died in a car crash 5 years before.
Oh, wow.
So she put a lot of her thoughts into her mother. And I always thought that the way she's saying Mama, like she's such, she's a white girl from Ireland and she's singing a Prince song. And I've always been kind of like, oh, like that's such a funny to hear her sing that, but it just destroyed me. When I read that, I was like, okay, you're such an asshole. It was about her mom that she was thinking. And it changes everything. It changes everything. That single tear in the video, it's like, holy moly, if she was thinking about her mom, like,
I read it as if I'm reading that right, it's like, let me get out Mama as quickly as possible because I'm gonna bawl right now. So just get it out quick and let's move to the next line.
Right.
It's amazing.
So my number 2 is my favorite song on the record for personal reasons.
Ooh.
But I couldn't rank it higher. And it's Nothing Compares to You.
Okay.
All right.
It's beautiful, and for me, it's the definitive version. A really interesting part about music and how it like roots in our brains is, it's the definitive version because it's the only version I knew of until the Prince Greatest Hits came out, and you had Rosie Gaines singing it.
Totally.
And so in her version, I still hear that cadence a lot. Even when this version is playing, I hear that the cadence of that, which is very similar to the Prince version that just came out recently. Chris Cornell does a version of it as well. And this is the one for me. And it's I haven't listened to it in a long time. I don't listen to it much, but it's so good. I mean, I was not living in a place where I had TV at the time, so I didn't see the video all that much.
Neither did I.
But it's an iconic video. But this song, again, for personal reasons, it means a lot to me. But musically, one of the interesting things I found on this is that the synths, like the sound you hear is a synthesizer. It's like a sampler. It's like a synclavier or something like that. And which is, again, like these really interesting choices that she makes, because, you know, you've got these beautiful strings on like Feel So Different and some of the other songs. But in this, she goes with the keyboard and you can hear it. I mean, you can really hear what she's doing with that. But I thought that was a really interesting choice to kind of bring up for this song. But yeah, I mean, it's how do you deny the power of this song, especially when wielded by that voice?
My number 2. England's not the mythical land of Madame George and roses. It's the home of police who kill black boys on mopeds. Like, it seriously makes me choke up that those words were sung 31 years ago, and you think about how relevant they are today. I would argue more relevant, and they're far from just about Britain. They're about the whole world, and it's devastating. It's so devastating, and the directness of those lyrics, like, not only is she an amazing singer, and the way she sings the song, she sings the hell out of the song, but those lyrics. This song is her and an acoustic guitar, and it's just utterly captivating. And she never once shows anger in this song. To Adam's point earlier, she so tenderly sings this song, and yet those lyrics, these are dangerous days. To say what you feel is to dig your own grave. Like, when was this written exactly?
Yeah, that line for her to say.
This has always been one of my favorites. Partially, it was my favorite because, you know, it's DAG. Like, talk about a song you can play on guitar. Like, I can definitely play this. But
I was going to ask, did you play it at our party? I swear I've heard you play this song before.
Well, I mean, it was definitely like one of the songs I would play all the time. I don't know if I played it at that party, but, you know, at the end, she even gives you those soothing ooh, right? Like the outro. I mean, it's a punk song wrapped in a lullaby, basically, and I get chills every time. And I talked about how personal this album is, and even on this song where she goes political and she looks outward, it still comes back down to I love my boy, and that's why I'm leaving. Like, she still brings it back into her own world. Like, speaking of songs that have been covered, you know, classic songs become timeless, and I was amazed when I pulled it up on Spotify how many versions of this song there are. This is a song that I think back then, I don't remember, like, people who had the whole album. Like, I idolized this song, but I don't remember people talking about this song. And if you look at the number of covers that have amassed, this is the kind of song that over time has gathered power, I believe. If you look at like Spotify plays, it's like the 3rd most played song on this album, which stunned me, but it's because it so resonates. It still holds such a place. I really struggled between my number 1 and number 2, and it could be either one, but this song is this song just is such a timeless classic.
Okay, we got to pile on here. I mean, it is everything you said, man. Everything you said, and I had forgotten about this song, and I'm on the run, and I hear the opening chords, and I'm like, okay, just a straightforward song, and you know, at this point, I'm like, I've already heard 3 Babies, and I'm like, is it going to be a boring song or is it going to be a powerful song? And I've gotten both so far in the album to this point. And I hear the 3 chords, and I'm like, okay, this should be straightforward. And then the first lyrics, Margaret Thatcher on TV, and I'm like, oh, she's gonna spit. She's gonna spit some truth here, and it is going to be, you know. And I read that that Tiananmen Square had just happened, right? So that's why she's
Right.
and it is the lyrics are so simple. They are so freaking simple and powerful. And you're right, they're just so direct. They cut right to you. And I got goosebumps on this, and I like. And then I'm going, holy crap, you know, in the current climate and what's going on today.
Completely.
I can't believe that that we're not hearing this on the streets right now, you know, because it's like, hey, and somebody said that, you know, we were talking about the child abuse in the Catholic Church, you know, she was ahead of her time. Holy crap, was she? I mean, in this, the most, you know, important, you know, way. Anyway, when she hits England's not the mythical land, and that's when the background vocals come in. So you know, just the word mythical and the ethereal music, just those two fit together. It is so beautiful, and the best is remember, and that's so Sinead. That is so
Sinead.
freaking Sinead. Remember, and I still to this day don't know what Madame George is, and I consider myself an Anglophile, and I'm like, what the hell is Madame George? This is protest singer-songwriter at her best, and I just had to pile on there because you're right, Dan.
I love it. So really quickly, Madame George is a really famous Van Morrison song. Is it on Sunday? On Moondance?
Yeah.
Which is interesting because Van Morrison is Irish like her, but she's talking about England not being so
Right.
I'm not quite sure what she's going for, but it sounds gorgeous.
The other theory is that it's Yeats, William Butler Yeats's wife was Georgie, Madame Georgie. Because I thought the same
Okay.
thing. I'm like, I thought it was going to be like, you know, like some celebrated royalty, like mythical land of Madame George. And I mean, because we all know like the Roses, like that,
Right.
that's keyed in,
Right.
but like Madame George, but like everything's talking about Van Morrison. I'm like, there is nothing in this song that keys
Yeah.
back to Van Morrison. Like,
Yeah.
and she hasn't said, not that I could find, but I was like, what?
That's
what
a
does that
great
have to do
point.
with,
Yeah.
with
It's-
anything?
It must be some figure. Anyways.
All right, so
clear the
Adam, you're
point she's
number
making.
one.
That's a cover.
What?
The phrase that we've all uttered at one point in our life. That's a cover. And it's one of those moments where you've heard a song a million times and you didn't know that one of your favorite songs wasn't written by the people singing it. When 20, 30 years ago, wherever it was, I pitched a series of albums called That's a Cover to my friend Mike, who was working for a reissue company. I love that moment of realization. There's a Spotify playlist, if you look for it, of mine called That's a Cover, and it's got almost every time I've ever said that.
That's great.
I love also the
And
way you pronounce it exactly the same each time. Like that, I feel like
That's
that's
a cover.
trademarked.
Yeah, I was so excited to see that on the cover of an album with the question mark and the exclamation point. And nope, didn't happen. Oh well. But a couple of years ago was when I realized that I Am Stretched on Your Grave was not written by Sinead. Is it surprising that it's taken from something old? No, because it sounds like an old Gaelic song. I think, you know, Sam said that it was, you know, a 17th century poem written by our favorite poet, Anonymous, and it was translated into English by a guy named Frank O'Connor, but it wasn't actually set to music in just this way until 1979 by a guy named Philip King, who was a band called Scullion, which sounds like a Spinal Tap offshoot, but it's not. And she sings it pretty identical to that, but it sounds like it's been sung that way for, you know, 1,000 years. It's just got one of those incredible, you know, hypnotic melodies. As much as I love it, funny enough, there's another version of it I like better, and I can't remember if all of you guys know this or not. I had a single for this, and there's a mix on it called the Apple Brightness mix, and it was done by a guy named Bill Coleman with additional production by two people that we know, Dimitri and Tawa from delight. It was one of the first times that the two of them ever worked together.
Interesting.
And it is so incredible. It adds more to it, but where a lot of dance remixes will just add the kitchen sink, it's still completely spare. It's got a different beat, but they bring in all these great little pop culture things that we were loving at the time. It starts with Laura Palmer from Twin Peaks, backwards saying
that's
Sometimes My
right.
Arms Bend Back, and it brings in the How Soon Is Now guitars. I mean,
Right.
those two things alone, it's incredible.
Okay.
So it's got a little more like funky organ in it, but so I'm probably more familiar with that version because I've listened to it so many times. So to go back and hear this album version where it is so spare made me love it even more. So you've got the most overused sample of all time and just all this space, and you don't even care. Like, it goes on forever, and you don't really care.
That's great.
And so as long as we're talking about one of the most like confessional albums of all time, I'll try and get this out because it's a big one for me. But I'm I'm a member of the Young Widows Club, so stretching out on someone's grave, it hits home. And we talk about like a perspective of a song from long ago versus we've talked about a bunch of times, like, oh, how did you feel about it 30 years ago versus how you feel about it now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that said, it's a big one, and not easy, but so shouldn't have gone there.
Yeah.
I'll be pausing.
It's fine. Take your time.
Did she love it?
Yeah.
Did she love this song? Did
I don't
you guys
know.
share
I
the
don't know.
song, or is it your song?
No, I don't
thinking
really
about her?
remember, but just thinking about her.
It's just
Yeah.
what you think about. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, rocket to the top, number one of your list, right?
I know, totally. Well, she always wanted to visit Scotland, so I took some grass from her grave and got it there.
Oh,
Not quite to Ireland,
Wow.
but pretty close. Okay, sad part aside, starts off with and then the beat just kicks in. Total fool's gold moment.
Yeah.
Total
Yeah.
fool's gold moment.
beautiful.
Interesting. Didn't think of that.
And it just goes on, and it's just a mood, and it's amazing, and it could go on even longer.
Yep.
And it like there was no question that it was gonna be number one. I've always thought of it as my number one on this album, and hearing and reading more about it just made me love it even more.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
that's my number one.
Awesome. Is there a video for this song? I feel like I had an image in my head of her dancing so carefree to this, and to your point, Adam, like she's such a hip hop fan. I felt like the whole time I could just imagine her doing this like total carefree dance, and I don't
See, I
don't
remember
know
a
what it's
carefree
from.
dance at the beginning of Emperor's New Clothes.
Maybe I'm mixing them,
But
yeah,
that
I didn't
maybe
go
it's
back
that.
and
I
look
don't-
for
I don't
any
remember.
video footage, but
Me neither.
for
Me neither.
this song specifically, especially with that drum beat right off the top,
Ugh,
I was just thinking
so
of that.
good.
it's so great. I am so glad that you shared that, Adam.
Yeah,
I love
me
that.
too.
I love that. I am also so glad that I put this as number one, Black Boys on Mopeds. I'm so glad I made that last minute switch because I'm very happy as I look at my list. And I will just say the only thing that I wrote down that I didn't say earlier when I was agreeing with you, and that is I have Black Boys on Moped, and the note says number one ? And so that's all I'll add.
Final answer: yes.
Yeah, it is so great. And over to Sam.
My number
That's so funny because I thought you were skipping in front of me, and I was totally okay with that. When you said all that, I was like, did he forget that I was supposed to be
No,
next?
I
He was
That's
too
okay.
excited. He was too excited. I loved that.
I love it.
He called it.
I love
He
it.
called it yet another audible.
Rules are meant to be broken.
My number one, obviously, Black Boys on Mopeds. Nothing compares to you as my favorite song on the record. This is the most important song on the record. It's the most moving song on the record. It's one of the great protest songs. That's, as
Yep.
Dan mentioned and as Jim mentioned, it's still relevant. Two-faced government leaders, police brutality, homelessness, hunger. The simple harmony on the choruses is incredible.
Unbelievable.
It's just like, I don't have much more to say about it. I had like the little stuff I said about Madame George before, but this song deserves more than just talking about footnotes in history. It's that it is still relevant is incredibly tragic. And it's so important though that we remember these times and these moments. I mean, one thing I did read was that she starts with about Thatcher, and Thatcher getting up and talking about Beijing, like, she was shocked, and come to find out that they had known, the British government had known that this was a possibility, that these protests were going to happen, and that the Chinese government was going to crack down. They knew for like weeks beforehand. So then Thatcher to get up and be like, "Oh, this is shocking. This is appalling." Like, fuck you. Like, who do you think we are? Do you think we don't see that you do these same things to the global South? England. For all of America's original sin of slavery, England has, compounded that with, what they've done in India and Africa, colonization and Ireland, and it's just but I mean, it was hip to pile on Thatcher at the time, but again, like right out the gate, she's just I think it was Jim saying, like, it starts off, it's that acoustic guitar, and then Margaret Thatcher on TV, and you're just like, oh shit. Gloves are off, here it goes. And she doesn't let up. But again, she's not laying on it. She's not like throwing that voice of hers into hysterics and anguish. It's so much sadness and so much weight. It's an amazing song.
She means what she says. Is what that's.
I mean, it's one of the greatest protest songs ever, and it always drove me crazy that she got booed off stage at a Bob Dylan birthday show.
Right.
I'm like, ugh, fucking Americans.
Right.
Get it right.
Really?
She didn't want the national anthem being played before her shows. Like, when have you ever been to a concert where that happens anyway?
Yeah.
And she said something about it. And of course, like Sinatra and all these people turned on her like, oh, you don't like it, America, fuck you, or whatever.
Yeah. Sinatra was always saying fuck you. Yeah.
We're almost 2 hours in, and we have not talked about Sinatra talking to Sinead on Saturday Night Live.
When I see you, I'm
really
thinking
one of the
8-ball
greatest
corner
moments.
pocket.
I've got chunks of guys like you in my stool. It's the greatest moment of all time, and we haven't mentioned it once.
Yeah. All right, Dan.
No,
That's
for me,
a
the line
terrible way
is,
to end the
I take one
podcast.
look at you, Baldy, I'm thinking 8-ball corner pocket. Amazing. By the way, we could do an incredible episode just of our top 10 favorite Margaret Thatcher diss tracks, because there is a rich list of songs that fit that. Bad politicians always breed great music.
True.
So I hear you guys, man. I easily could have put Black Boys on Mopeds, number one. I will do it. I usually do it. I'm the guy that carries the flag for the overplayed single. My number one, It's Nothing Compares to You. And I'll tell you what broke the tie for me, because I really went back and forth.
Yeah.
It's her voice. I'll get back to that in 1 minute. We talked about Nothing Compares to You. We talked about I Am Stretched on Your Grave, how we didn't know they were covers. That's part of the brilliance of this album, is the stuff that our covers match so incredibly with the stuff that she writes and arranges, that it feels like it's all coming from a single voice. Like, the lyrics sound like the kind of lyrics she writes, which is crazy, because I don't think of Prince and Sinead O'Connor normally in the same lane. I remember the first few times I heard the single, I don't know exactly when I learned it was Prince, but I did not know that at first. Like you, Sam, I did not hear the original until Prince's The Singles came out. And oh man, when I heard it, I'm like, that sucks. Like, it's not even, sorry, look, I'm a huge Prince fan. You can go back to the Purple Rain episode and listen, but it's not even close. This is one of those cover Hall of Fame where it just blows away. And look, I love Chris Cornell. I love that
Yeah.
voice. But you go listen to that, you're like, doesn't add anything. Like, she has kidnapped this song for good. It is absolutely her, and it's because of that voice. Yes, there's the John Bonham drum beat, the do do do. I love the big drums behind it, but I'm gonna say it, guys. I could not think of a song that is more perfectly sung than this song. And what I mean by that is, and I couldn't disagree with you more, Adam, she puts her signature on every line of the song. Every line of this song is sung in a completely unique way. Like, when I first heard it, I'm like, yep, there's that song again. And as I listened again and again and got the headphones on, do every one of us not know every word of this song?
Where did I go wrong?
Do we not throw our hands down in some way as we do, I can eat my dinner in, as those drums drop in? And do we
But
not
they only
curl our
remind
lips? To your point, Jim, do we not curl our lips on, where did I go wrong? And do we not increase the volume of our singing voices when we sing, I went to the doctor, and guess what he told me? And you always have to do it twice. Guess what?
Yeah.
And then
Totally.
you're in the
That's
car
the
with
best part of the whole
someone.
song.
Do you not turn to the other person and saying, but he's a fool? And do you not just lose yourself when singing, nothing compares? And then you bring it in back tight for the anguished, to you. And you have that little, you got to have that little. And I won't even get into all the flowers that you planted, Mama, and I know that living with you, baby. Like, every
You're not gonna get into it.
line. She took every line of this song and put so much of her personality into it, so much of her being into it. It's perfect. And to take a song, Adam, you mentioned it's 3 verses of basically the same thing. That's what makes it brilliant. That's what Sinead is. She's not like all these unbelievable musical flourishes. It comes down to her, those lyrics and that voice, and she just blows it out of the fucking water. And that's why I had to end up putting this number 1. This is the ultimate testament to that voice that will just live on in history.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It's so,
So good.
I'm-
I do want to defend myself and say, this morning when I learned that it was the 5-year anniversary of Prince passing away, I was listening to the album again, and I had an even better appreciation for the song, and I wanted to move it up. And I looked at my list. I'm like, I can't. I love
Right.
the ones above it so much. I still can't believe it's down at number 8. But
Dude,
Yeah.
everything you say is so right on. I can't say like that anything bad about it. It's just one of those stacked
no, I know.
albums for
it's,
sure.
It's just so dramatically different from the original. And it was so fun to not have heard the original for so long and then to hear the original. And so often you're like, oh, it's just a slightly different version, but total rework.
That's kind of how it is with a lot of the songs that he wrote for other people, Manic Monday and I Feel For You. And you hear these original versions, you're like, it's not really that great. Funny enough, the one bit of trivia we were talking about cover versions. One of the songs that she covered that's great and super quiet was just a couple of years earlier. She covered Someday My Prince Will Come on the Stay Awake comp. It was
Oh, I loved that album.
so
That was
perfect
great,
that 2 years later, Prince comes along and gives her the biggest hit of her life. So
oh, someday
Unreal.
my prince will
Unreal.
come. So I just like point of order. I always like to look at like the top 3 ranked songs.
Give us the stats, Jim.
Yeah, you know, Black Boys on Mopeds is our highest ranked if the average of all of us. The lowest song is I Do Not Want What I Haven't Got. So top 3 are Black Boys, I Am Stretched, and Nothing Compares to You. Okay. There are 2 of us that have those ranked in some order of 1, 2, 3, and that's me and Sam. So we correctly called the best 3 songs on the album. You know,
Or
Separated at birth once again.
exactly.
or you're the most basic.
Yeah, right. We have the best taste. Dan put I Am Stretched at number 6. So you're going to defend him? No. And Adam put Nothing Compares to You at number 8. There's no defending that either. So Sam, congratulations. We win again.
I
the
was
statisticians wrap up.
I was really surprised that Nothing Compares to You came in at number 2 for me. But like once I I think it was probably pretty quick, like maybe the first or second listen through. I was like, no, Black Boys on Mopeds has to be it. Has to be.
We have the same top three in the exact same order, Sam.
And I think a lot of the rest of us, we have this similar too, Jim.
Yeah.
It's interesting, Sam. I went the opposite. Black Boys was sitting at number one for most of my listens. And then I finally just dug deeper and deeper, and nothing compares. And I'm just like, there's so much here. But
It is.
I mean, those are kind of the two sides of her brilliance, when she just
Yeah.
empties it all out, and when she just sort of pulls it back, like, you know,
Yeah.
they form the complete Sinead.
Or better
And
half.
and
All
that's
right.
a podcast.
Okay. Thanks a lot, you guys, for that one. And
Great pick, Adam.
hope you don't mind me, picking one that we all liked for once. So our next episode is our first ever request episode. We're going to do one of these every 10 episodes, and we record these a little bit in advance, so we don't even know what it's going to be. And I'm sure some of you are saying, wait, you take requests? Well, we didn't ask, but we still got 40 of them anyway. 30 of them came from one of Dan's coworkers, which was awesome. And we weren't going to let you guys have a whole lot of input. We were going to sort through these and decide ourselves. But Dan said, no, they're not going to vote unless we get 1,000 followers on Instagram. And guess what? Thank you, guys. We now have 1,000 followers on Instagram. So
Woohoo.
Thanks for watching us on the social media. So if you are watching on the social media, then you can look and see what next week's episode is going to be. That said, here are the nominees that we voted on, and these moved to the top in alphabetical order. We've got Sam's number one pick, which was Aha's Hunting High and Low, thanks to Carlos. We've got Big Star's number one record, thanks to a listener that we don't know named William Fewer. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Jim and I put Blah at number one. My friend Molly suggested we do a Blah episode, and we decided that Park Life was going to be the official nominee. And then we've got Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. Again, Carlos giving us 30 choices between between 1985 and 87,
The man's prolific.
our first few episodes were from that. And he said, "Oh, by the way, this whole thing is sponsored by YouKnowWhatYouShouldHaveDone.com, our favorite website." So he suggested here's some other albums from that era that you guys seem to like, and man, we got a great list from that. And then we've got Sam's friend Becca, who recommended we do an Oingo Boingo album, and Jim said we're doing the one with Nothing Bad Ever Happens. So Good for Your Soul is up for contention. And finally, Dan's number one pick, which is Primal Scream's Screamadelica. So I can't wait to put it out there for folks to vote on, and we'll see what comes next.
Park Life.
See you next week. Bye, all.
Ciao.
And I think about leaving the house.
I'm not a woman. I'm not a man. I'm something that you'll never understand.
Please follow We Will Rank You at We Will Rank You Pod on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and let us know how you would rank tonight's tunes. Sam writes about music on the web at YourOlderBrother.com. You can find Adam's music page at YourDoingGreat.com. That's YERDOIN. Please subscribe, rank, and review our show at your favorite podcast place, and send us a note with pink hearts, orange stars, yellow moons, green clovers, and blue diamonds to wewillrankyoupod@gmail.com. Opening theme by mashup legend DJ Rico.